Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Heroes of Graxia is a deck building game. This came out early in the deck building kind of universe, if you will, of games that were copying off Dominion. And what you're going to get here is a game where you're getting armor, and you're doing fighting, and you're going dungeon, and you're fighting people. And I think it works okay, but I think there's a reason why it didn't pick up and become more of a popular game. One, it has like this CCG look to it, and it's going to be a turnoff for some gamers. The game looks aged, even though it is kind of. It's not that old of a game, but it just looks like a CCG, and it has that kind of look to it. That's a turnoff for some gamers. In addition, I think Thunderstone was just a better game and kind of put this one in its rightful place. That Thunderstone was the one that's gone on and on, had more reprints, more pushing behind it, and it's kind of went to the front. So if you want a deck building, it's kind of like a Dungeon Dweller or Dungeon Crawler, you're going to go there, and not so much Heroes of Graxia. I think the game's a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. Could have been streamlined a little bit. I'd be interested to see this game with a new look and a new streamlined rule set. I think that hurts the game a little bit in this fact that it's got this Thunderstone that's a really well-designed, really good graphical designed game, and kind of taking most of the spotlight from this. But if you're looking for a little deck builder, and it's very portable, comes in a little box, and you don't want this grandiose game, and you're looking for something that's a little bit more strategic and thinkery, I think Heroes of Graxia could be that for you. For me, this really isn't what I'm looking for in a deck builder. I didn't actually enjoy the game very much, although it's a very solid design. I think, quite frankly, like I said, I'd probably go to Thunderstone, which is not one I'm particularly fond of either. So there you have it. For me, this game is going to be a Purge. It just didn't click enough, and I felt like if I was going to go here, I would just go with Thunderstone. Heroes of Graxia. It's a deck building game. Comes in a very small package here. When you open it up, you're going to have the rules, which we'll take a look at in a couple minutes. You are going to have some miniatures in here. These are not the greatest quality miniatures, but they were pretty good for the time. They don't really do a whole lot in the game. You could paint these up if you wanted to. They're very, very tiny. But they pretty much just stand there, so they're really not needed for this game, but you do get quite a few in here. The rest of the components are going to be cards. You can kind of see that they kind of sit in here in two packs. You can have a lot of what I find unique artwork. I don't know if it was used anywhere else, but there's a lot of artwork. Some of it's repeated, as you can see, and the cards are fairly easy to utilize. You have different icons, different places. Very good design, but it kind of reminds me of an old CCG. It reminds me of a very generic card outlay. This was kind of popular at the time. So that's going to be the components. You're going to have the miniatures, and you're going to have a bunch of cards. As for other things to keep track of things, it's not going to be here. This is what you're going to get. So here's a rulebook. It's a black and white piece of paper. It has the name of it, introduction, and some cards. Then you'll kind of unfold it like a map. I'm not a fan of these because you never know. Okay, so you read this way, and then you come down here and you read across. So it's not up and down as you would think. The back of it has all the combat information, no pictures, no examples. It's going to have some advertisement down here that you're going to have. Not a very good rule book. I mean, you're going to kind of want to know a little bit how to play to go in. A video might help you out. There's a picture of setup over here. It's okay. This isn't a great rule book whatsoever. I'm just going to give a quick overview of this game and kind of how it plays. Up here is going to be the cost. You're going to have the health, defense, and the attack. If you want to use it for money, you would use it on this. So on your turn, you're going to draw a number of cards, and you're going to have a certain number of actions that you can take. Now, this is going to be one of the few deck builders, I think probably still on the market, that has like direct attacking inside of the game. For the most part, if you want to use it for the coins to buy cards, you would utilize this. This will be the defense and the attack and how much health it has until it dies. Down here at the bottom is going to be the victory points that it would have. And really in this game, you're just playing to a number of victory points that you would have. So one way to score victory points is to fight these monsters that will be up. Here's the health and the attacks. He's going to do 22 attack. So you want to make sure that when you're having these people that are fighting for you, that you have enough defense saved up. And you'll be able to do that by playing characters and having an army, and then having attachments and stuff to them. And there'll always be a reward and a victory point that will go into the loot pile when you're able to defeat these guys. It's a huge part of the game, and one of the main strategies is to fight these monsters. You will have prestige point cards, which will have 5 and 10s on them, and so forth. There's a 2 and a 1 that you'll be able to utilize to keep track of. You can always use an app or a piece of paper also. This is how you're going to keep track of wounds. Once again, an app or a piece of paper might work better, but you can utilize these wound cards in order to showcase how many wounds that you're taking throughout the game. So I want to showcase a few things, like for example, here's a weapon. It would cost you 5 to obtain it if you want to use it for coins, and it would give you an attack of 4 plus 2 if it's against an opposing legion. So you would attach this to one of the army cards, and you would have to utilize this power, and you kind of build up your army as the game progresses. On your turn, you can have a number of action points you can utilize. You could definitely just draw a card from your deck. That is something that you can do. You can play spell cards. You can put these people out, paying the cost, put the attachments out to them by paying the costs associated with, and kind of building up your army. Like I said before, the majority of the game is going to be fighting the other players or these monsters to utilize the prestige points. It's not a very complicated game. The game is pretty simple to play. I don't think you're going to have a lot of problems. It's one of the first or early deck building games that were kind of available on the market. It is a spin-off of a game called Guardians of Graxia. This would be Heroes of Graxia, which is the card game version of that. Now, there is a benefit that I want to talk about. If you're able to defeat these monsters, you're going to get prestige points. Now, when you attack the other players, if you're able to win one of those, you will also obtain prestige points, but you'll be obtaining these in the form of these cards that will be utilized during the game. Now, if you're able to win against a hero or unit, for every one, you get 3 points for each army eliminated, 4 points for each henchman, and 5 for each hero. Normally, under most circumstances, you can have one henchman out. Now, I want to bring particular attention to what are these spell cards that you can play down, and they're kind of usually played outside of combat. This one deals 2 wounds to 4 units of an opposing legion. So these can be like a one-time spell that you're able to put down, where a lot of the cards, like an army card, might sit down in front of you and stay there until defeated. In a 2 to 4 player game, you're playing to 15 points. To a 5 to 6 player game, you're playing till 20. As soon as somebody gets that winning amount, they win the game, and it's over, and you're the hero of Graxia. Who should buy this game? Fans of Guardians of Graxia. I think this is an IP that kind of goes on, so if you're familiar with it, you're going to like it more. And if you do enjoy that CCG look a little bit more, I think you're going to be pushed for this one a little bit more. Or you were just turned off by Thunderstone, and you're looking for something different, but you like that theme. This could be it for you. A little bit more complicated of a deck builder. I think there's a little bit more going on here, a little bit more rules than people are accustomed to. So if you're looking for a little bit deeper of a dive, this could be it for you. For me, it's going to be a Purge. It didn't meet my requirements of what I was looking for, and there's so many deck builders, I have to make a decision. This one did not make the cut, so for me, it's going to be a Purge, but I could see a niche for this game. I'd like to see another edition of it, to be honest.
Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.